College football kicks off this week. Wendell Barnhouse from Big12Sports.com, our guest tonight. All right, the one true champion thing. You've been talking about it for 6 months now. What is the procedure in place to determine a Big 12 champion to avoid last year's fiasco?
There will be a Big 12 champion. I can definitely say that. They're going to, if a situation like last year, Baylor would have been the champion because they had the head-to-head against TCU. That's the simplest way to say it. They will decide it there won't be co-champions. You'll have a head-to-head that will determine it.
Well, it'd be interesting to see who that champion ends up being because it appears like there's two really good football teams at the top of the conference. Start with TCU. Not an easy way to open at Minnesota.
That is a dangerous opener because Minnesota has one of the best secondaries in the Big Ten. So that means that Trevon Boykin, if he's going to have a Heisman campaign and have a chance at winning it, it's a national televised game on a Thursday night. If he can throw for 350, 400 yards and they put up some big numbers, that's going to be a big boost to him. But that's going to be a challenge, I think, against this Minnesota team. The best thing, though, that Minnesota lost a couple of its best playmakers offensively. They've got their quarterback back, but they weren't that great offensively last year. So I don't know, even though TCU's defense is going to have to find some new playmakers in the back seven, I still think that TCU should come away with the win, but it's a tough way to start the season.
Baylor starts at SMU Friday night. All sorts of off-the-field problems for Baylor, but on the field, what impresses you most about the Bears as they try to win a title?
Well, TCU was picked to win it, but it's razor thin, I think, between these two teams because, Baylor. We don't talk about Baylor's defense very much lately, but their defense might be one of the best in the Big 12. They've got 9 starters back. They might have the best defensive line in the country. I think this defense is really going to be good. Offensively, they've got a new quarterback. Seth Russell takes over for Bryce Petty. But if you look at the progression lately from Robert Griffin III on, every year when they've had a new guy come in, he's put up big numbers. And there's a lot of playmakers around Seth Russell. The offensive line is pretty much intact. And he has experience. He's played a little bit as a freshman and a sophomore. He's also faster than Bryce Petty, so his running ability adds another dimension to an offense that's got really good depth and talent at running back, really good depth and talent at wide receiver. I think the reason that TCU was picked is because when those two teams meet, it will be at TCU, and the fact that Boykin is back and people aren't sure about Russell.
Is Oklahoma the biggest threat to kind of upset things if either of the top two falter?
Yeah, they're kind of the mystery team because they made so many changes in the offseason. They brought in Lincoln Riley, offensive coordinator, who Bob Stoops wants to go back to the way his offense was when they won the national championship in 2000. Mike Leach was started out as the offensive coordinator there at Oklahoma. Then Mark Mangino took over. They were, a version of the quote-unquote air raid offense. And Lincoln Riley, who was a former Texas Tech walk-on quarterback, he was at East Carolina. They put up a lot of big numbers. Bob Stoops took a look at the teams that were good in offense last year and said, a lot of these teams run, what Mike Leach used to run. I want to get back to that. So he brought in Lincoln Riley. The interesting thing is they also have Samaje Perine, a sophomore who led the team in rushing and set a single-game NCAA record. A guy is a huge, strong, powerful, fast running back. So how are they going to, mix in the run game with the passing game? And the interesting thing also at Oklahoma, Baker Mayfield has now been a walk-on and won the quarterback job at 2 Big 12 schools. He started at Texas Tech. He transferred to Oklahoma. Bob Stoops didn't even know he was going to show up. He showed up and said, "Hey, Coach, hi, I'm Baker Mayfield. I used to be I was the freshman the newcomer of the year as a freshman. Now he's the starter at OU." We don't know how this is all going to shake out, but Oklahoma could be kind of a dark horse.
And Charlie Strong at Texas, opening at Notre Dame. How much pressure is there on Strong to really make dramatic improvement this year?
Yeah, I've seen there are a couple people that have him like on a hot seat. I cannot think that he's on a hot seat yet. But having said that, this is going to be a really challenging year, maybe more challenging than last season, I think, because the schedule is very difficult. You said the opener at Notre Dame. If they could easily be 2-4 after 6 games. Now, last year they were 2-4 after 6 games and got to a bowl game. I think the thing is that Strong is starting to bring in his players. There may be 12 freshmen that have significant roles or start this year. There's could be 2 on the offensive line. Malik Jefferson is going to start at middle linebacker, it looks like, on defense. And Strong is starting to get a lot of good young players in there. But I think this is kind of a transition season where I think if they get back to a bowl game again and maybe don't increase the number of victories, but just at least get to a bowl game, I think that's a positive because, last year so many things went wrong, and the fact that they were able to at least get to a bowl game was good, but their season ended so badly with getting blown out by TCU, getting blown out by Arkansas. There's kind of a bad taste in everybody's mouth in Austin. But, I think that Strong is starting to build a team and program the way he wants it built. And, I know Texas fans don't have a lot of patience, but I think that's what they need to have.
All right, Texas Tech, Oklahoma State fans, go to fox4news.com. We're going to talk about your teams. That'll be up on our website here very soon with more from Wendell Barnhouse from Big12Sports.com. I'm Mike Ducey, Fox 4 Sports.